iHorse University and eXtension HorseQuest live webcast on using social media to enhance your equine program. The presenter for this evening is Taylor Fabus. Taylor received both her bachelor's and master's degree in animal science from Michigan State University. She currently works in the Animal Science Department at MSU, instructing introductory horse management classes, coaching the horse judging team, as well as coordinating many of the Michigan's state-level 4-H horse events. In her free time, she enjoys spending time with her family and showing her quarter horse in all-around events. Please note that you're able to ask questions during the presentation via the text chat on the left side of your screen. The presentation for today will be recorded and uploaded to our website if you want to review it at a later date. And at this time, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Taylor.
Okay, and I unmuted my mic. Can everybody hear me? Hopefully. You can raise your hands just so you guys know, and I might ask some questions along the way. So if you see up on the top of your screen, there you go. You guys are pros now. And then you can also clear your raised hands, just so you know. So thank you very much, Gwen, for that introduction. And that is a window into my life a bit, as is this picture as well. This is me on I'm actually just like that right now, sitting on my horse, Ozzy, and working on the computer. No, I'm just teasing, but I wish I was. And I'm just clicking along, and hopefully everybody can see. Who here is, I don't know, finds as much enjoyment in social media as I do? As my husband says, I'm on my phone far too much. I play with that Facebook thing. Is anybody else on Facebook who find themselves savvy? Oh, I see several of you typing. Yes, addicted. Okay. So go ahead and add in the chat bar. I'd like to just, before we get started, kind of get an idea of what everybody's favorite social media platform is. Is it Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Pinterest? When not mucking or fixing fence. That's good, Bob. Facebook, Facebook, Facebook. Okay, so it sounds like I'll be preaching to the choir tonight, which obviously is fun. Good, Facebook. We will talk mostly about Facebook tonight, and you don't use any of them, Stephanie. Well, we are gonna bring you so much info, and hopefully you can be a Facebook user by the end of the night. And obviously you must have some interest in it if you joined us for this webinar. As Gwen alluded to, I do teach in the Animal Science Department at Michigan State University, which means I teach college students, which means I'm very comfortable with interruptions throughout this. And actually, it ends up being a better program if everybody can ask questions and gets more interactive. And sometimes these webinars it's difficult to have interaction. So I encourage any questions, or if you say, Taylor, you were mumbling, I didn't hear you, or hey, go back, that sounds cool. I'm very open to that. So please feel free to utilize the chat feature. And I'm sure if you have a question, there's probably somebody else that has it, or if somebody watches the archive, they might have that question in the future. I kind of stumbled upon my role in social media by accident. It's just an area of interest to me, and I've learned through trial and error. I've learned a lot through watching other pages that I think are successful, and whatever you may deem successful, that can be different. But either way, I've found myself managing several pages, all as an extension of my job. And it's pretty fun. But that way, when my husband yells at me about being on Facebook, I can say, "Oh, it's for work, honey," and he normally falls for it. You'll see on this page here, along the left, we have eXtension, and hopefully many of you are familiar with that. My Horse University is linked with eXtension. So basically, that's an online platform for extension professionals throughout the nation to get together and share their information. It's a wonderful organization, and I'm a part of that, and I run their Facebook page. So hopefully you guys can see these links here, and you can type those into your Internet Explorer search bar or whatever, and you can make sure that you like all of these pages. So extension.org/horses is our main website there. We'll be using examples from the Horses Extension Facebook page a lot tonight. And we also have a Twitter account and a YouTube account, and we'll talk about some of those as well. And then for specifically Michigan State University Extension, I run a couple of their Facebook pages as well. So there is our website that I help update and keep active. But our Facebook pages, I am the administrator for the MSU Horse Judging, the MSU Animal Science, and the Michigan 4-H Horse and Pony Project Leaders. So you can see I do several pages, and I also have a few personal pages as well. So I am on Facebook a lot. Man, my husband must be right. Darn it. So here is a variety of social media platforms that we're using. Um, and I was just sitting down and chatting with Gwen while we were waiting for this webinar to start, and I'm already learning about other social media platforms that I could be using and I should be using. So this is definitely something that if you're into continued education, social media is great for that because it's always changing. And the demographic of the users is always changing. So that's something to keep in mind, and we'll mention in a bit. We're using YouTube. We'll look at some screenshots. I have a lot of screenshots in the upcoming slides so you can see what our YouTube channel looks like. And hopefully you guys can visit that and find some useful videos there. And when I say we, I'm almost always referring to E-Extension and my what we call a community of practice. So all those extension professionals getting together and sharing their information. We have a Twitter account as well. Um, Admittedly, I am not wonderful in the Twitterverse, and I think for the last 3 years, it's been one of my New Year's resolutions to get better about it. Um, how many of you use Twitter, just by a show of hands? So Jennifer, how often do you say you tweet? Daily, rarely for Jackie. Yeah, and I think that that's a generational thing too. Admittedly, I'm still young in my career. My kid does because it's harder for me to, yeah, exactly. And Jackie, that's exactly what I was getting to. So I'm almost 29. So I consider myself still young. But it's pretty interesting how different my generation is just from the current college population. They're getting less and less on Facebook because myself and my mom and all the older generations are getting more and more on Facebook. So, and I think that we'll just see that ebb and flow with the different social medias. Gwen mentioned Instagram. I know that a lot of kids, or let's say high schoolers and that age, they're really using Instagram. So you might not see them on Facebook as much. Let's see, only when I have to for work. Exactly. I try and then fall off the Twitter wagon. I know. That's so Gwen and Chris, they're on the same thing with me. But I'm going to teach you some tools tonight to where you can post one time and have that same post go in both the Twitterverse as well as the Facebook world, and hopefully, you can just make your work a little bit less for you. Bob, cohort, not generation. I have two daughters, 4 years apart, and they are both tech literate. I teach it. They're very different. Okay, very cool. So, and each of these social media platforms offers a lot of different things for the users. So it might not be a generational thing. It might be whatever you're trying to get out of it. We do have some blogs, whether I have a personal blog, which I've kind of um, ignored for a while and perhaps I should get back to. But another way that we can use blogs is just to help share our information. So there are some equine industry blogs that share our information and articles from time to time, and that's certainly useful to get it out to populations. Instagram, we mentioned that, and that's a photo sharing site. Pinterest, for those of you that don't Pinterest, that's again, it's based on photos, but each of those photos is supposed to be linked to a link that explains, let's say, make a craft or make a recipe and those sorts of things. So it's a way to save all of those websites that you want to revisit later. And it's pretty neat. And all of these things can be time consuming if you allow it. So here is the Horses Extension Facebook page. How many of you, by a show of hands, like this page? And I took this screenshot. These would have been taken last Monday. So the day before this original webinar was supposed to happen, and then my husband hurt his back. So luckily you all joined me for the reschedule. Okay, so just Jennifer, does that mean that I'm going to maybe get a couple more likes? All right, so hop on over to Facebook and search horses space dash space and then E extension there. You'll find it. And the link to it was on one of the first slides here. Oh, just liked it. Yay, Beth. So I think we were at 3,022 likes this morning, so maybe we can be 3,025 before the end of the night. Awesome, Beth and Heather. Well, I am the not so anonymous voice behind the Horses Extension Facebook page. So most of the time, I'm the one posting to there. And what the purpose of that Facebook page and any of our social media, we're trying to drive people to our eextension.org website. And what that website has is lots and lots of free equine resources, and there are a variety of other topics on there as well. But we're just trying to point people back to this great free resource that we have. And so when we originally created this website, I think this is really, really important. And actually, if you guys could, in the chat function, write down what your purpose is for or your goal is for this webinar. Do you have a business Facebook page that you want to get more people to like whatever your product is? Do you just want to learn more about your own Facebook page or maybe what your kids or colleagues are doing? You want to help a horse rescue? Okay, so you want to get the word out about a certain organization. Yeah, just so I get an idea um, of our audience here. And if for some reason I'm kind of getting off topic and not answering your questions, you can remind me in the chat bar. I have a business Facebook page. You want to learn how to use it more effectively. Perfect, Kim. I think that I'll answer lots of questions there. Startup equine rescue, a 4-H leader. Tuscola County. Oh, that must be a Michigander. Better with your business page. Run several shows, so you probably want to get people to those shows and you want to promote the information there. Okay, great. So I think it was January of 2011 we created this Facebook page because we knew we needed to be present in the social media world. So we created it, and there's at least 30 of us that are active in this e-extension group, this horses e-extension group. So we all liked it, and probably our moms and grandmas liked it. If any of their moms and grandmas are like me, they support anything. You can see this is a screenshot from my page when I pull up horses e-extension, and 160 of my Facebook friends like it. So obviously, um, a good chunk of the population of my friends are supportive of this. But beyond that, we didn't really get any other likes. So when we got back together a year later in January in 2012, we had about 100 likes. And we said, okay, what are we doing with this page? And this is the crucial turning point for us, is we created some goals and we outlined what our goals were. And you can see those along the left. We wanted to build a community. We wanted to promote our events, things like this webinar, maybe advertise courses for My Horse University, or we have lots of learning lessons on e-extension. And we also outlined what we thought we should do. We did a little bit of internet research um, as far as when we should post things, what type of posts. We'll talk a lot about what type of posts are do the best for us as far as get the most interaction from our viewers and from our fans. Um, and so I think that what we decided, that was 2 years ago, we decided, okay, we're going to post at least 3 times a week. And we're going to make sure at least one of those posts is before noon on Friday, because we thought that might hit a lot of people. And a lot of the research that you'll find online will tell you what the best time of posting is. But if you just kind of think about the habits of the demographic of all of the fans of this Facebook page, there are a lot of people that work, and towards the end of the week, they're maybe playing on Facebook more because they're getting bored at work. Or around lunchtime, that's a good time to post because a lot of people will be checking their phones at lunchtime. So really just use a lot of those common sense things to when you think about the times and posts. So we set out those goals, and then when we revisited a year later in January 2013, we had 900 likes, so tenfold almost. And I remember we were very excited about that. So in January 2013, we had 900 likes because I remember doing a contest about trying to get up to the 900th like. Then I think by the time January rolled around, we were at 1,000. So we were really excited about that. And then you can see in January 2014, we're over 3,000. So once you get more likes, and I think everybody knows this, then more people see your information on their newsfeed. They share with their friends, and then it really just kind of expands pretty quickly. So we were really geeked once we got to that 1,000, and things are paying off. An important thing to think about is do you want to build a group or do you want to build a Facebook page? I have both, and I'll talk a little bit about if somebody is completely new to the Facebook world, this might be a little overwhelming. For some of you, this is gonna be um, really, really easy. So I'm sorry if this is redundant to information that you already know. The last thing that we looked at was a Facebook page. And a page works really well for a business or if you just want a single voice for whatever that cause is. When people post, I'm hoping I can go back and forth. Yep, okay. Um, so the only thing that shows up on the front page here of the Horses E-Extension Facebook page is things that the administrators post. Can you migrate to a group? No. Um, can you migrate a group to a page and serve? You can point people, go to the page and see this. We have, for example, the MSU equestrian team, they have a group and a page. So one group or one particular association may need both, but you can't really, if you have a good, strong group going, you can't just turn that into a page. And you can't just move members over. I hope that was an answer to your question. But for Horses Extension, we definitely just want one single voice here. We want Horses Extension to be posting things and a group, everybody that's within that group has equal authorship rights. So this worked really well for the Michigan 4-H, the national qualifiers. So all those kids that were on the teams that were going to go to the nationals, like for our horse judging contest, I wanted to be able to share information with them about registration, hotels, and I wanted them to be able to ask questions. So a group really works well for that, for a smaller group of people that want to share information and everybody wants to have the same authorship rights. This does not work if you're trying, I don't think so. I mean, some of you might have an example where it may be working for you, but it does not work well if you're trying to promote a business or shows because you just don't have that unified voice and it's not it's really more just let's get together and share information, but it's more of a short-term thing. At least that's what I found. And you can see over along the left side here, I am in charge of several pages. You can see those there, the Horses E-Extension, the Pampered Jeff, horse judging, Michigan 4-H horse, MSU Animal Science. There's several there. Some of you may have none there that you're administrator of. Some of you may have more than that. I think only 5 show up at once. And then below groups, I'm in several different groups too. So you can see that there. Yours obviously will look a little different. That part on the left is tailored to whoever you are. Here is another Facebook page, obviously a much smaller one. We're about 570 likes. And again, these screenshots were from just last week. This is obviously for our Michigan 4-H Horse and Pony Project leaders. This is a way to disseminate information to our Michigan 4-H horse leaders about upcoming events. So, and also if we have a great article about, let's say, winter time tips for horse enthusiasts, I think was one I shared today. So we share information on there. But again, I want one unified voice. So pages, it sounds like for most of your uses that you guys described in the chat function, a page is really going to probably be better. And I think I have more examples. Here's the MSU horse judging page that I also organize. And this is just a more updated version. So let's see. Oh, we got a few more likes. I don't know how far those pictures were taken apart, those screenshots. But you can just see those are what pages look like. And if you have any questions, holler along the way. So you can see that the time devoted to each of those pages can be somewhat different. And is everybody seeing the cover page recognition? I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page and that I've synced things appropriately. Bob raised his hand. Okay. Heather's typing. So something that My Horse University has done very well, and hopefully you all like them on Facebook as well, which is likely where you found out about this. You can put that in the chat function about maybe where you found out about this webinar because we'd be interested to know how people are hearing about our webinars, whether it was through the email blast or on Facebook. But you can see here on the right side, the picture is a screenshot of what the My Horse University Facebook page is, and that cover photo. And Facebook gives you really great dimension information and what you can have as far as text versus image ratio on there. But the nice thing about that cover photo, it says world-class equine education at your fingertips, horse management based on science focused on you. It really tells you what My Horse University is in a short snippet. And you can see horses coming out of the computer. It gives you an idea that it's going to have something horse related. Um, oh, awesome. Okay, so Heather heard about it through the emails um, and some email. Okay, good. And then on the Facebook page. But a neat thing here is you can see on a blog or a website here, Horse and Family, they recognize this as one of the 15 amazing Facebook cover photos for equestrian. So anytime you have a blog recognizing something you're doing on Facebook, obviously that's just going to increase your hopefully your viewership of the page and your promotion. So there are, and it looks like they got number 3 here. I don't know if these were in order, but there is certainly benefit into spending a little bit of time and having the photos and the images and the cover photos. They do have value, and you want to make sure you got to catch people right away, especially for some of you that are looking to maybe sell a product or get people to your shows versus another show. We all know people have a ton of different options where they can be spending their time now. Okay, so raise your hand if you already administrate a Facebook page. So this, if you do are administrator on a Facebook page, you have likely seen something very similar to this insights that you're seeing right now. Okay, several of you do. Um, and whenever you go to your page, you have this option that you can look at the insights. When other people go to your page, just when a regular fan or friend goes and looks at your page, they don't see the insights. Just the administrators of that page see it. So you can see this is showing my data from January 14th through the 20th, 2014. So just last week to see what the Horses E-Extension Facebook page was doing. I see all these green arrows, so they make me happy. I was doing something good this week. Um, and not surprisingly, the weeks that we do well are the weeks that I end up devoting more time to it. Whatever, things are slower in the office, or maybe I'm just procrastinating more and I spend more time on Facebook. So generally, when our numbers are up, it means I just devoted more time to the page that week. When our numbers are down, it might have been around State Horse Show week or something where life is crazy and I just am unable to spend as much time on the Facebook page. And at some point tonight, we'll also talk about how you can strategize a bit so you can plan out your post. Has anybody, show of hands, scheduled a post using Facebook scheduling features? So that makes life a little easier. Okay, a couple of you. When you go to post something on a page on Facebook, you'll see a little clock. And when you click that clock, you'll be able to schedule that post for the future, which is nice because then, say you're not going to be in the office on Tuesday or you don't necessarily want to post every single day. If you spend Sunday night and you devote a couple hours, you could do that whole week's postings. I don't generally use the Facebook version of the scheduling. I use another program that we'll talk about in a bit because what that does, I schedule my posts out, but it allows me to post those to several different social media outlets at one time. And I'll type that. I don't think I have any screenshots of that, which is my mistake. Sorry about that, but I'm going to put that down here in the chat. It's called hootsuite.com. There are several different. I'm not necessarily endorsing that or anything, but that's the one I use. It's Hootsuite. It's free. You can, of course, upgrade to a paid version. And I'm sure there are several others. Heather thinks it's great. So do I, Heather. Um, it's awesome, and it certainly does make it seem like I am on Facebook a bit more than I am, which is nice. The beginning of the year, I was traveling a bunch and I was able to just sit down while I was in an airport and spend about 6 hours. And I planned, just so you know, anytime you see a post on a Tuesday from Horses E Extension, it was likely already planned out. So, but you want to be sure if you plan out those posts that you too are still revisiting that page and you're interacting with your fans, your friends, or whatever you want to call them, or your customers, because they might be commenting on that post. And you want to be sure to recognize their comment and tell them thanks for commenting or answer their question. So you can't, it's not totally post and forget, set it and forget it. You have to go visit. use it during fair week, admin the fair page. Yep, perfect. Um, so either way, let's take a little look at our insights page. Our likes went up 1.7%. I got 49 new page likes. That's exciting. You can see there our total reach. And when you hover over these numbers in Facebook, Facebook's really pretty cool how they give you such detailed insight information. And they explain to you what they define as reach versus engagement. Um, and so you can visit all those things, and Facebook describes it pretty darn well. But that's just kind of neat, and we of course just aim for green arrows. And then here are my 5 most recent posts as of last week, and you can see some that were doing better than others. Um, and you can see some that were maybe not, but I took the screenshot very soon after 3 of them were posted. It's not always great to put posts that quickly together, but you can see I just changed the cover photo, so that's not really a post. And it obviously didn't generate very much reach and engagement. But let's go down to the post from 117. Here's your Friday funny, and it's just a silly picture. Now that's something you guys might wonder, especially if you're running an educational page. We really had to think about that when we planned out the goals for Horses E-Extension. Did we just want to strictly be educational posts? And what we found is we want to be kind of the one-stop shop for anything equine. That's maybe a bit of a stretch, but we want to see funny equine stuff too. Obviously, we have a bit more of a filter than maybe some pages will, and it will always be that way because we are university associated. But we certainly recognize that there is huge benefit in posting something that is politically correct yet funny and horse related, because it gets people talking and it gets people sharing your information. And if it's ever somebody else's information, then I can find the original author of whatever that Friday Funny may be if I didn't create it. I try to tag them in it or somehow at least give them credit for creating the cartoon or something like that. Link to Fergus, perfect. And that's going to be horse related, and it's not going to ruffle any feathers, hopefully. So those are great things. Dana's Doodles are something that we link to a lot. But you can see here, just on this silly funny thing, we got 3,800 likes or reach, and over 1,000 people were engaged in that post. So just think of all those people that, since they were engaged, then learned more about the tip that we shared on 120. So we have really found that there is value in silly posts and inspirational posts to get people to our educational content. It's pretty easy. We're not trying to sell anything necessarily. We're trying to share free content, so no one's too leery of that. But even if you're trying to sell a product, make people comfortable. Make them want to come to your page for more than just whatever you might be selling. Here is this infographic. Is not something that I created, but we've found it quite useful. We call this, it's a very popular Facebook formula to follow. So it's the 70-20-10 posting rule. 70% of your activity should add value to your store or your brand recognition or your website. Okay, so that's your stuff. You're adding, these are our articles, these are our YouTube videos. That's your stuff, added value. Then 20% is shared content. So it's really good to share other people's. They appreciate that. In turn, they're likely to share your things, especially if you're sharing something from a well-renowned, well-respected website or Facebook page. It's just going to increase your credibility. And then 10% is straight promotional. So then people, again, aren't feeling like they're bombarded by your things. So that's a successful posting rule that has been suggested. And certainly, if you do any bit of searching on the internet, you can find a variety of all these sorts of things, and you can just use trial and error, see what works for you. You don't have to stick to any of those things. For My Horse University, on their Facebook page and all their social media sites, I should say, they are a bit more structured. They have a larger committee of individuals that help with that page. I just do it when I have time on the e-extension page. But here, this is a great idea. If you think about, you want to post information that is timely, so it has something to do with what's going on, whether it's about weather or it's about the Olympics or um, certain diseases that might be prevalent. If you post anything right now about blanketing horses or taking care of iced water buckets, I can about bet you you're going to get some shares on that. So here's an example in September. They actually have planning meetings or just sit down on a little conference call in My Horse University and say, hey, what are we going to talk about? And maybe plan out for, you can do a week plan, or you can just say, all right, September is going to be our mosquito-borne diseases month. Um, and especially if you're new to this and you really want to make a concerted effort to increase your Facebook usage, you might want to structure it a bit more. And that's, you're going to see when people start to expect to see your posts every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or however you plan it, um, that that you'll see your viewers increase. So that's just an example of what they decided their themes were. And certainly, if you want to use some cute titles to tell people, oh, to this week we're talking about selecting a trainer, and so that works pretty well. And you can see every Friday was Friday Funny, and it's good if you like on Horses E Extension. Every Tuesday of 2014 is YouTube Tuesday, and all that is just sharing a YouTube video from our YouTube site. So just something when you plan a weekly post, it makes your life easier because you don't have to reinvent the wheel each time. I can only come up with so many good ideas. So now I know every Tuesday, it's easy, it's a video. Here's an example of a value added post. So now what we're going to talk about um, the type of posts that we have found to work good for us. And that's not only for e-extension, but also My Horse University. A lot of these slides are from a social media talk that Chris Skelly and I did about a year and a half ago. And we just talked about getting popular in the social media world. So we talked about posts that worked well for us, posts that didn't work so well. And I will tell you, and Facebook just released some information. I mean, we kind of already knew it ahead of time, so Chris, maybe we're ahead of the curve. But if you don't have a link or a photo with your text, it's pretty much lost in the Facebook world, um, which is true. I mean, I'm not much of a reader myself. Maybe some of you love to read a big paragraph. But I'm just going to tell you, I want to see pictures. And like that infographic that we just looked at a slide or two ago about the 70, 20, 10, those sorts of things where it's a beautiful image as well as some information, people love that. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop. They don't have to go to a link and read a whole article. Obviously, we share those as well. But if you can make things visually enticing in the social media world, um, you will find big benefit in that. So if you have a good, if you're a good photographer or if you have a good collection of photos, that will certainly help. So value-added posts, they have relevant and current information, both basic and advanced. Remember your audience. So some of you may be very well versed in the world of equine ownership. Some of you may be newbies, but remember, you're going to have a variety of fans. And so, talking about some of the more basic stuff that you might forget is basic, and you just think, oh, everybody knows that. You might be surprised what people don't know yet. So, feel free to share information for a variety of knowledge types. Um, Breaking news is always great. If there's something hot in the media, feel free to share that. And when you can create interaction and allow your fans to provide information, that's awesome. So our goals are to be liked, get our photos liked, get our statuses liked, get our links liked, commented, and shared on. And kind of in that order, shared is the best, at least in my mind. Sharing means they take your information and they think it's so great that they click share and they want their friends to see it. Um, and that's going to really extend your reach. So if you can get people to share, and that's why you'll see if people do contests, they always say, share this and you'll be entered to win. Well, that's because people want their stuff shared with all of your awesome Facebook friends. Commented is great because then they're actually providing information and you're starting a conversation. And that's wonderful and that makes me really happy too. But you just need to make sure that you visit your page often enough or that you have your notifications set so that when someone does comment that you are fairly quick to respond so that they know there is somebody on the other end of that computer. And then liked is great too, but it's not as exciting or a comment as share in my world. So yeah, the image will help find your post in the newsfeed. And as I said, Facebook recently said if you just post words on a business page, that most of your fans will not see that at all in their newsfeed. And you can see the metrics over here: 18 likes, 6 shares, 6 comments. Nothing huge, but it's got interaction, and so we're happy. Informational post and a compliment. So you can see down here in this screenshot, Jennifer Jackson said she loved this course and passed it with flying colors. Thank you, MHU. I mean, how awesome is that? To right there, you have a fan telling you that they like your product and they're giving you an endorsement whether they realize it or not, and all of your Facebook friends can see that. So obviously that would get you excited. I'm sure you'd all love to see that. And all you did is you just shared a little bit of information and you kind of teased people to hopefully get excited and they wanted to go to this My Horse University course to learn more. Um, but this is an awesome graphic too. People love graphics like that. So either way, and then it's got 18 shares. So this is a great post. It's adding value. People are commenting. It's increasing interaction and encouraging it. So we've liked things like that. Now here's an example. We write bi-weekly um, news articles through MSU Extension. This is one of Chris Skelly's on, let's see, feeding different cuttings or species of hay to horses during drought. And I think this is from last summer, so well, 2 summers ago when we had a huge drought. So obviously anything about drought and how you can stretch your hay supply, people were all over it. So not only just having this article out on a website, just because it's on a website doesn't mean people are going to see it. So you need to remember, take that and then go post it to your social media outlets. Make sure that you aren't just creating information on whatever, if you have a website, or sure, you might be holding a great horse show, but you do need to toot your own horn from time to time. And luckily, social media gives us an awesome free outlet for that. And so you can see here, this got 15 shares, which is great. And I think, let's see, awesome. So this is what I wanted. When you clicked on that link, this is what you would see. And you see that it had, we'll go back real quick, it had 10 likes on Facebook, 15 shares, and 1,000 people had saw the Facebook post. But over 100 people had liked this when you went to the actual website. So a lot of people were going to it. So don't, just recognize that just because everybody isn't liking or commenting it on Facebook, a lot of people could still be reading that information and finding it valuable. And that's definitely the case here with this article. Okay, so this is a great example of letting your fans do the talking, really, really encouraging interaction. I do this on the E-Extension Facebook page, and I might just pick somebody that commented and send them a coaster or a luggage tag. I have all sorts of goodies. So when you can say, hey, if everybody comments on this, I'll pick a winner, obviously that's going to get people excited. And don't feel like it has to be a big prize if you're going to send out a prize. People love just little things, keychains and that sort of thing. So what they did here on My Horse University, this is a picture of one of our staffers. And so she obviously took this picture on purpose, trying to do as many things wrong as possible. So she's walking on the wrong side of the horse. She has the lead rope wrapped around her. She's talking on the phone. Looks like she's barefoot. And so she said, without being too harsh on the person leading the horse, what are they doing wrong? And so you're not only adding value and you're offering educational opportunities here, you're getting people to talk. Which is great. And then the whole purpose of this, once it was done, is Laura, you can see in the comments here, Laura said, great, thanks for all your responses. Check out this free course we have on purchasing and owning a horse 101. So you're telling someone about a free course offering, which is awesome. And all these people would be interested in that. And maybe they would know somebody that would be interested in that. So a lot of times when I ask a question or do a post like this on e-extension, not only do I say, all right, this was the correct answer, it was the horseshoe or something, I then link it to something on our website that further explains that answer. So you guys, if you are fans of the Facebook page, you'll see that. And I just make sure to, again, just pointing people to our website. And you can see this is that same post. This is when our insights looked a little bit different a year and a half ago, but it's the same thing. Over 2,000 reach on that post about the interaction. and you can see it was doing well, and they had several posts in a row that were doing well there. These are extremely popular. Our most popular post is when you can make it really timely. It's a current human interest story. So this was during Hurricane Irene and talking about a horseback rider delivering medicine in Hurricane Irene. Horse people loved it, and it was obviously very timely. Anything weather related, it seems to really pique people's interest. Um, and and so we did well on this. And this brings up another point here. If you're wondering what kind of voice to use when you're posting to social media, this is what we have found and some other research has found to be most successful, is use a casual, personable voice, first person generally. So you might hear that or read on Horses E extension that I'm saying I, me, we, just because it is a very professional site and it might be a professional business, people want to know that there is a person at the other end of that computer. And that's why talking in that first person, casual voice, commenting, liking their comments, it really lets them know, okay, this is somebody that's actually listening to me. Um, and it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy. And I know on the Facebook pages that I like, I appreciate that sort of feeling. Here is a really neat way to use social media, and we're kind of jumping into a bit of a different subject here, but the Equine Business Network, another great Facebook page that you can like, that is through My Horse University. Taking a drink of tea, just a second, sorry. What we did is we did basically different webinars, and probably Gwen and Chris are like, they're not called webinars, it's a webcast. But either way, we had 4 different states interacting, and there was one live presenter at each of those states, and it was like a live feed. So at each of those states, you got to see all 4, but you only had one live person, and then the rest were video conferenced in. But we used the Facebook page for all the Q&A sessions. So people were watching a presenter, whether it was live in person or on the video feed, and they could ask questions. And you can see here that tons of questions were asked, and then they were being answered right on the Facebook page, or they were being answered by the presenter. So that was really neat. So it was allowing people that weren't there to be interactive. And then obviously it's going to store that information so you can revisit it as well. We tried to do that a little bit today where we said, hey, does anybody have any questions for Taylor? I don't know that we got any questions. So sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not, and that's okay. But you can see that's just another way to use social media. Okay, and then here we have Equine Business Promotion Day. So you know that anytime you have a Facebook page, people are gonna want to promote their thing, whatever it is. So this is a really great opportunity. Give them an outlet and say, hey, every second Tuesday of the month, I'll let you all post here and you can share your equine business so that you're not always saying, sorry, I don't want to post that, or I don't want to share about your equine rescue, because it would just, your Facebook page would be inundated with it. But you can allow an outlet for that. Let's see. So here is an older picture. You can see 721 likes. And if you work in my office with me, you, especially around this time when my likes went up to 3,000, every single like we had, everybody in the office would get to hear me get excited about it. So it's kind of funny. But we just had a Friday Funny down here, and the what do I want to say? The profile picture. We've taken that right from a fan. So we have profile picture contests where fans submit their photos. I create an album. So that's a little bit sticky about Facebook. People can't post to an album on a page. So they either need to message it to you or email it to you or post it to the page, and then you save it to your computer and I'll post it in an album. And then we have an album for a profile picture contest, which obviously is not costing anyone a dime. And then the photo with the most likes gets to be the profile picture for a month or whatever you decide the contest runs for. Um, and and either way, that gets a ton of people. You want your friends to like the page or like your photo, then they need to go like the page and then like your photo. It's just another neat way to get your fans interactive. So here's a good one. Again, example, it's not necessarily an educational post, but there is a website or a Facebook page called Ranch House Designs, and they do a lot of things like this. They're not necessarily in the horse world, they're more in the livestock world, but they do a ton of, they have much more skilled in the Photoshop world than I am. But I just took a photo that one of our fans submitted, an adorable photo, I might add. Um, and I just put a cute quote over it. And so it's just, again, all the information is right there on the photo, and people are more likely to share it when they're, you don't need to have a big description with it. Um, and then I said, like if you agree, and you can see, again, that's a call to respond. You're asking people to do something. And you can see that had over 70 likes and over 80 shares. And the people that are in the photo commented, and they were so excited that I used their photo. Make sure that you just let them know that, hey, I'm going to use your photo. You might have that in your description of your Facebook page. If you share a photo with us, we are then able to brand it. You can see I put the E extension brand on here. So if anybody shared it, they would see our brand there. So either way, I think we're talking, and you can see that one that got a lot of reach there, over 1,000, and our page was only 700 likes. So. A humorous and timely, again, these, you don't just have to be educational. You got to get people excited, and then once they're there, then you can share the educational stuff for them. And a mud rolling ceremony, this is right during the Olympics. People liked this. What do you use to brand? Just Photoshop, or is there an app? I actually used paint.net for a while, and it's just a free downloadable. It's, very archaic probably for some of those that are really into graphic design. I have the Photoshop suite now, so if I sat down and learned it, I could use Photoshop. And Paint.net is kind of just a dumbed down free version of that. But again, I imagine many of you are working on a tight budget, so use what you can. And so yeah, I just put our brand on top of that, and that's something we already had. Some of you may have to create that if you don't have it already. And it looks like we have more questions, so I'll just keep peeking over there. Contests with educational value. Now, Facebook is changing their rules all the time about contests, so be sure to go review those so that you're not breaking any rules. Let's see what, oh, no question. I do quizzes from time to time. Quizzes get a lot, people love to share their knowledge. So you can see this is question, I'll do like 5 questions or something and then do a drawing at the end of it. Here's a question, watch this video and tell us one thing you learned. So I'm getting people to not only go to our YouTube page, but then to watch the video and then share information so that all of these people that are commenting can see the value in that video. And then at the end I say, congratulations, this was the right answer, which is, for that, you pretty much couldn't get it wrong if you learned something from the video. And then I shared even more information about basics of equine behavior. So again, pointing them back to our free information. And here I shared something from the American Quarter Horse Association. Only share things from sites that you know are legit and have credibility. Pick Money is another free online tool that a lot of people use if they don't have Photoshop. Thank you, Heather. Awesome. But make sure, there are a lot of crazy Facebook pages out there, to put it mildly. So make sure that you're only sharing from sites that you want to be affiliated with in some manner. We're nearing the end of this, so I'll speed up a bit, but I'll still, Pick Monkey. Thank you, Heather. But I'll still keep picking over at the chat function. So the MSU Friends of the Horse Teaching and Research Center, basically this is the Facebook page for our MSU Horse Farm. And I put this up here because it reminded me a great way that Paula, she's the blonde right there not holding a horse in the cover photo. She uses the Facebook page. This is something new that she's tried. And trust me, Paula is the first to tell you she is not tech savvy, but she's gotten really darn good at the Facebook page. And what she'll do is, we have a sale every April, the horse farm does, and she'll share videos of the horses working with the students and the progress of those horses. So people are seeing snippets of video, and they're already getting teased about different horses they might want to buy. And that, we found that this was the first year, 2013, was the first year that we actually had a large population of new people to our sale. And almost all of them said they found out through Facebook. So there's a great example of how to use that. And here's a video, or maybe this was just a photo of look at the 2-year-olds learning how to lunge with the students doing the work. Again, and it also promotes the MSU horse program so people can know, oh my gosh, students are actually um, training the horses, and that's pretty neat. So obviously that's serving a couple different roles. Some of you may be interested in just using your personal page. You need to decide if it's going to be a personal page where you share everything about your life, or it's going to be a personal / professional page where you know that you're going to have friends from your friends and family or friends from work, and you need to filter your posts accordingly. And some people are a little better at that filter than others. But here is one of my colleagues, Karen Waite. She has a huge following of fans. She has over 1,000 fans, but she has a huge following of horse people. So she's able to use that pool of friends to her advantage. So here she's a call to action. She needs some people to take a survey. So, hey, would you guys be interested in taking a survey? And everybody is willing to jump in a hurry for Karen. Here, somebody asked for advice, and people started commenting again. So these are, and you have to police this kind of stuff a little bit. And program appreciation, just for fun. We were all getting ready for the state horse show last year, and Karen said, "What's your favorite state horse show memory?" And that kind of helped us keep sane because everybody reminded us that the hard work was worth it. So again, these are ways to use your personal page. Here is, we're nearing the end here. Here's our YouTube page. Our YouTube page has, this was from a while ago. Let's see. Yeah. So it had 1.8 million views, and this is the new look of YouTube. And now we have 2.9 million views, and that was from last week. Those screenshots were taken about a year and a half apart. So that's awesome. And I don't know if it says how many videos. We have, I think, over 200 videos on there, but almost 3 million views. That's something to be excited about. Here's a blog that used our information, and you can see they're using images. Linking within your text is absolutely important for search engine optimization. That's something you can Google if you wonder what I'm talking about, SEO, search engine optimization. Here's a metrics for a blog. We're not going to talk too much about a blog. And a few more minutes for questions. And like I said, Hootsuite, I'm sorry I didn't have any screenshots of that, but that can make your life so easy because you can have your post to multiple social media outlets at once. But does anybody have any questions in the chat function? Stuff that I didn't cover or was unclear about? Sorry, that was a lot of information and a lot of talking in the last 53 minutes. And for those of you that maybe want some more mentoring or you have questions after this, I am absolutely happy. If you message the Horses Extension Facebook page, you'll get me. And I'm happy to answer questions along the way, or if you want to send me your Facebook page and I can like it, I'm here for that. Overview and ideas, no problem. I hope it made sense. Where can I get information about blogs? I don't know a ton about blogs, to tell you the truth, but if you, my email is also on myhorseuniversity.com or at the beginning of this. If you want to email me, I will look up some stuff about blogs for you. Be happy to do that. I should do it for myself anyways. No problem. I'll put my email in the chat function so you don't have to go searching for it. And you guys can email me if you have questions about your Facebook page or your Twitter account. I think that about sums it up if no one else has questions. Use Hootsuite, use PicMonkey. Your life will be easier. Thank you guys.
All right.
This was fun.
Well, I'm going to wrap things up here a little bit. First of all, of course, we'd like to thank Taylor for her presentation this evening, and we'd like to thank all of you as well for your participation in the webcast this evening. Of course, we would love to get some feedback from you. In the next couple days, we're going to be sending out a survey by email, and if you could just take a couple minutes to give us your feedback, it'd really help us as we plan future webinars. And in terms of additional webinars this spring, we're still kind of finalizing our lineup for February through May, so you'll be seeing information on this on our website and things like that through our newsletter and so forth, and of course on Facebook. And just wanted to remind you that the webcast was recorded this evening. We're going to be uploading it to our website. And feel free to send us your comments and suggestions to info@myhorseuniversity.com. And of course, join many of the places that Taylor mentioned in her presentation tonight on Facebook and Twitter, of course, E-Extension and My Horse University and all the MSU programs and so forth. We'd love to have you join our social media. So thanks again, and we hope you all have a great night.